I'm going to start working on this rooster's tail. It's been washed in with mixtures of Viridian Green plus liquid, Phthalo Blue plus liquid, and Dioxazine Purple plus liquid. And then these feathers down here were painted with Ivory Black with a little bit of Viridian Green in there just to give them a nice sheen. So now I've got opaque mixtures of those same colors. This is Viridian Green plus a little bit of white. I have several shades of this. And I paint some of my feathers kind of in the back first. Kind of like painting the rest of the painting. I work from the back and paint forward. So I want to get the feathers that are kind of in the back here done first. And I just use this bright brush. Again, a bright brush is a square-ended brush, and this really just works wonderful for these feathers. I had to break off to ship that painting, the big flower painting that I did in the previous painting that I did, and it took me a full day to pack that thing. It was big. I had to build a box for it. So my sky's a little bit drier than I prefer, but this is going to work fine. I like it to be, my paint to be a little bit wetter than that behind my feathers, but this is going to work just fine. I can still take some of that sky color. I want to soften the underneath edge of these. I can do that just by taking a clean brush. I do it in my thinner and then I wipe it, and then I can just soften that edge a little bit. And then I'm going to do this feather up here. Like a nice curve. And that one I did when I did the sky, so I don't have to worry about it. And just let a little light hit on that one. Again, I'm going to soften this edge. And for my thinner, I use Turpenoid odorless paint thinner because my studio is in our living room. And so I've used the odorless Turpenoid, and it is odorless. If you go to Lowe's or Home Depot and get their odorless paint thinner, it's really not odorless. It does have a distinctive odor. So this is truly odorless. I didn't mean to pull that. I'm just going to make that solid right there. My sky color, I need to just mix just a little bit here. I'm going to make that split in the feather right there. Got that a little bit light. And this is just my white plus a little bit of my mud. The mud is 2 parts of ultramarine blue and 1 part of alizarin crimson. And this just allows me to I want to keep my brush clean because that phthalo blue you'll have to clean your brush because that does get in there. Let me make this a little bit darker. Didn't really mean to do this, but with this palette it's pretty easy to go back and mix colors that match. Again, I want to get this phthalo blues as strong. There we go. There we go. One more little. And I pull from the sky into my feather. If I were to pull from the feather out, then that would make that would get into my sky color, and that would be very difficult to do. So to make my sky clean. So I pull from the cloud into the feather. And that way I can keep the sky color clean. Now, that is fixed there. Get my big brush and just make that. There we go. And these brush strokes, now I'm going to take a little bit of my Viridian Green and Phthalo Blue, get a little bit of both on my brush. You can see that. I've got both the green and the blue on there. And I just mix my two colors. And then as this feather comes over, it's going to get darker. These rooster feathers are just, they have such a beautiful luminosity. Make a green one here. This is the fun of painting these roosters. They're not, I put a lot more color in them than they actually have, but that's okay. I'm the artist and I can make my world on canvas exactly as I want it to be. I'm just bringing some darks in behind here. Now this, again, I'm getting a couple of colors on my brush, so I get that variation of color in my feathers. Let's bring, this is going to be green back here. As it comes over, this is going to get just a little bit lighter right in here. And then darker as we come down. Now this is a spot where I want to have a couple of different colors on my brush. And then that gives that nice variation in the feathers. Now let me go ahead and start doing some of these purple ones. This is dioxazine purple plus white. I'm going to bring some of that in here. And as it comes down here, it gets a little bit, it's almost too light. So I pick up some of my darker color. And then I want my darker color then to come like so. And I'm even going to make the tip of that with my phthalo blue. Just give some variation. These feathers are iridescent, and so they have a lot of variation within the feathers. That makes them fun to paint. And I just have a lot of color out on my palette. I've got my blue mixtures, my purple mixtures, and my green mixtures. And I just kind of paint back and forth. A little bit of my purple and blue in here. Make this a little bit darker. And I follow my wash-in somewhat. I don't totally follow it exactly. Again, at this point, I just have fun. Kind of let the brush, let the paint dictate what I'm going to do here. But I do keep wiping my brush because I want to keep my color clean as I change from different mixtures. Now this blue is going to start catching some light as we come around here. I'm going to bring some green on these feathers because with the reds and all in his neck and the saddle on his back, those feathers coming over his back are called the saddle. I want that red and green juxtaposition because by having the green and red next to each other, it makes each appear brighter. They're complementary colors. They're across from each other on the color wheel. So by placing them next to each other, it makes them appear more vibrant. Now there's some blues under here. Just get my darks in there. It's a matter of just working back and forth. Now I'm going to let the green pop here. Because again, this is up near his red comb, and so I want that feeling of the red and the green. To make that red appear brighter. Light catches. I make some of these brush strokes pretty heavy. Bring this down in here. Feathers curve over, so on the top part of the curve they're going to be lighter and then they get darker as they fall back over. This is going to catch a little light there. And then darker. We'll bring some blue into that one. Get a bigger brush. Go back to my bigger brush. I just like the texture. I can get a lot of paint on this and then just add a lot of texture. These feathers to I've basically got these blocked in. I still have some more detail to add to them, but that's pretty much how I get them blocked in. I really appreciate you watching my YouTube videos. Please visit my blog. I show the complete step-by-step process on this painting, as well as others I do. And the link is in the description below. The address is also on the final frame of my video. So thank you so much for watching, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day.